Welcome back, everybody, to the Wide League inaugural Scarlet and Violet VGC 2023 tournament. My name is Eric, and I'm once again joined by Casey Boy. We are going to be moving right into our round 2 match. We're going to be having Pengy going up against Ganzaar. Pengy is a player that, if you guys have been following the scene recently, you guys might have heard of. Indianapolis regional champion. Managed to qualify for the World Championships purely off of the 2022 second half of the season results. Very, very decorated player. This player's in-game name that they will be going up against is Ganzaar. So we're going to be pulling up the teams. They are in team preview right about now. And let's get into it. So on Pengy's side, we've got Dondozo, Tatsugiri, and this thing is gone. So we almost got to dismiss team preview there, but saw Dondozo, Tatsugiri, so we're going to be seeing another Dondozo, Tatsugiri game coming up in this round. So getting into it, yeah, we'll see what the leads are going to be for this round. So Ganzaar going to be going with the Grimmsnarl and the Baxcalibur. Meanwhile, Pengy going with the Meowscarada and Sylveon to lead off here.
Yeah, Pengy is a well-known player and is going to be using the best of the best for the teams, and it does look quite similar to the team that was used in the Limitless tournament that just happened. That came second with Aaron Trailer. So Pengy probably thinking this did very well. Maybe had a couple of chats with Aaron Trailer to get that team going, and it's probably going to know all the ins and outs with many outcomes as possible. This Baxcalibur Pokemon you don't see very often. It comes here and there, but when it comes, it does bring itself to the field. As you see, it goes for a Steel type, Terra type to take away any of its variances. Goes for Ice Shard and Meowscarada. Doesn't get the knockout, puts a lot of damage down to it. Spirit Brick though comes on through, goes for that double up, gets rid of the Meowscarada, which is absolutely amazing. And this Sylveon is sat right in front of a Steel type Baxcalibur, so his Hyper Voice is going to do very little damage. Grimmsnarl not really liking that as much though, living on a sliver of HP, and really Pengy on the back foot from this turn 1 just because of that amazing strategization early on.
Yeah, Meowscarada not being able to do very much to both of these Pokemon, getting knocked out almost immediately by the double up. Grimmsnarl hanging on from that attack, able to just go on the offensive turn 1, and now putting it into a position where it can potentially put up a screen here. But Armarouge and Sylveon, another Trick Room option for Pengy potentially to go for here. But of course, yes, like you said, Sylveon does need to be careful of that Steel type Baxcalibur.
Yeah, it needs to be really careful. If it has maybe like Terra Blast, it can throw a lot of damage down. Even if not, 0 damage going into it. Light Screen, even less damage going into it now. So Pengy put onto a rough spot. There's the Glaive Rush going to the Armarouge. Takes it down to the yellow, not doing overly much damage, but it's still enough to make it a bit concerning here. And Pengy really on that back foot straight away. The Grimmsnarl does go down, and really there's a Trick Room coming up as well. Means these slow Pokemon going to be faster, and even if anything comes through, the bulk of this team is going to make sure that it's going to be taking these hits throughout this Trick Room. Rotom coming through, we'll see that is the Wash Rotom, the ever so common one, and it's just going to, again, it's going to sit there nice and bulky behind your screens for how bulky it's known to be.
Yeah, so getting the Trick Room up, I'm going to make Sylveon a little bit more of a potent offensive threat, being able to get these Hyper Voices off, as we're now going to see the Terastallization coming out from Pengy's side, going to be the Sylveon. This is going to be the Terra Fairy, actually. So you notice a lot of Sylveons tend to go for Terra Fire to get that coverage with Terra Blast, but Pengy instead going full-on offensive here with the Terra Fairy, as Baxcalibur going to click Protect. Going to protect itself from the potential armor cannon coming out from this Armarouge, as Sylveon clicks Hyper Voice into the protected Baxcalibur. This Terra Fairy Hyper Voice going to be doing a ton of damage to this Rotom Wash. Takes it all the way down with a critical hit. Rotom Wash surviving by the skin of its teeth, but not going to be able to survive the Psychic typing, the Psychic attack from this Armarouge, as that is going to be Rotom coming into the battle and being taken out almost just as quickly. So Pengy quickly just going to be running away with this game, as Meowscarada is forced to come back in on Ganzaar's side.
Yeah, Meowscarada coming in is not going to like taking these hits, and that crit into the double up on the Rotom was amazing call from Pengy, and really just gave that momentum back that he lost in those earlier turns. Sucker Punch and Ice Shard, 2 priority moves, going to ignore the effects of the Trick Room, allow him to go fairly fast. Armarouge goes down, but really, it's done its job. Yes, it was super effective against the Max Caliber, but Sylveon can hold its own. There goes our Hyper Voice Meowscarada living on a sliver. Have we seen a sash revealed? We'll find out in a second. There is the focus sash, so no cheeky, bulky Pokemon there. And really from here, Hydreigon comes in, Pengy can just start throwing things down. Can the Pokemon keep up the pace? We'll have to see. Will Sylveon be the ending grace of this Game 1, which is the quickest Game 1 we've had so far on the stream, given we've only had 2 rounds, so let's not hold our hopes there.
Yeah, Sylveon, especially with this extra power boost, being in the optimal position of being able to just spam Hyper Voice, can easily run away with games if not properly prepared for. But the Ice Shard going to be doing a ton of damage to Hydreigon, and a Sucker Punch not going to be doing as much damage thanks to the resist there, but all that damage not going into Sylveon, giving it a perfect opportunity to click Hyper Voice once again, missing the KO on the Steel type Excalibur, but that's okay. You get the knockout onto the Meowscarada. And since Hydreigon was able to withstand that onslaught of attacks, it now has the opportunity to fire off an attack of its own. Going to be the Dark Pulse, able to pick up that last sliver of health on the Excalibur. And it looks like this first game going to be going to Pengy. So very good stuff there from Pengy. Making some great Sylveon plays and just letting that Pokemon run away with this game. Such a powerful mon, especially with the Terra. Very, very offensive Terra. Really paying dividends there and just giving Sylveon a huge damage bump to clean up that game.
Yeah, Sylveon having that boost from not only its Pixelate, not only its super high defense attack stat, that terrestrialization just gives it a lot of stuff to run away with. Of course, Pengy now has to think, okay, the Steel type Excalibur is there. It does make it so it's not a one and done job. Click Terra type, click Hyper Voice, get things knocked out. It is going to be a little bit of time before that keeps rolling, and we have Ganzaar could maybe then expedite on that and reveal maybe a Steel type move in that Terra Blast, get a knockout in return, and then Pengy is then without one of the biggest counters to a large portion of the opposing team, and they can just set the pace, of course. And Arcanine can start burning things if it has the ability to burn things. It can drop Intimidate down. Rotom can take a few hits from things if it's still living. That crit didn't really give as much dividends as it really needed because it did drop very quickly. So we could see it being a bit bulkier in these next games with that light screen, with that natural bulk, and just maybe get a nasty plot off, a Thunderbolt or a Hydro Pump that puts a bit of pressure on these Pokemon even in or out of that Trick Room.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to keep in mind, if you're Ganzaar, you have to keep in mind about the potential Dondozo angle here. Probably not the safest choice for this match, considering you have a lot of offensive, a lot of hostile Pokemon for it, but always something that that this player has to keep in mind when you're going up against the Dondozo team. But yeah, like you said, I think the main focus here is going to be slowing down that Sylveon. So getting into game 2 here, we're going to have to see what these players do to adjust their strategies, and let's see what we got for the leads. So we've got Annihilate and Grimmsnarl coming out here as Hydreigon and Armor Rouge are the leads for Pengy.
So Pengy going for what could be straight away just setting up that Trick Room. Annihilate can put a bit of pressure down there because it is known to be Choice Scarf plus Final Gambit. Some people might go with an offensive version, but a lot of people have opted to go with that more supportive version. Get the Final Gambit off. You've got that trade 1-for-1 in approximately about 90% of situations, and that covers a lot of the bases. Even if not, this Hydreigon is going to be weak to those fighting type moves, and if it terrestrializes, it can lose its weakness to Dark type in itself. There is the Fire type, in which a lot of players do opt to go with, because it just means so many types that are super effective against you then become either neutral or ineffective, as we see a double terrestrialization coming out as well. So both players get rid of it really early, really thinking, okay, want damage down, want it one and done, as we do see the Dark typing. So another Dark type Armor Rouge coming out, not going to get taunted, not going to get not taunted by the Prankster Pokemon, and just loses that weakness to Ghost typing. WDMichael comes on out, goes into Annihilate, doesn't get the knockout, and is going to leave it with a bit of room to maybe get that revenge kill with something like a Drain Punch. Rage Fist comes on through, isn't going to be as effective because of the terrestrialization, but still does loads of damage because of the effect. Critical hit as well. And Grimmsnarl gonna have to go for a Spirit Break, 4 times effective. We're gonna say goodbye to Hydreigon.
Yeah, Hydreigon going down there. Very smart terrestrialization into the Dark typing there. Probably not expecting the Drain Punch to come out into the Psychic type Armor Rouge, but also, yeah, potentially blocking a taunt there from Grimmsnarl. Gets the Trick Room up, And I think we've seen this movie before. Sylveon going to come back into the game. A very, very nice Pokemon to have under Trick Room and even the defensive Terra typing of the Annihilate with the Fire typing. Not really going to save it at this point because, I mean, now even though Sylveon cannot terrestrialize, those Pixelate boosted Hyper Voices are going to be doing a ton of damage. And if Sylveon managed to stick around for a long time, it's got that Throat Spray, so it's going to further boost its special attack and do even more damage the next turn. But yeah, now the Annihilate, noticing the immediate threat that is Sylveon, is going to go for a Protect here as Sylveon fires off its first of likely many Hyper Voices into the Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl able to hold on. And it looks like Pengy might have made a bit of a play here considering his reaction, but Sylveon getting the Throat Spray, boosting its special attack, ready to keep doing even more damage. Grimmsnarl's Spirit Break going into the Armarouge, able to hang on with just a little bit of HP left, going to be lowering its special attack just one stage as the Armor Cannon correctly going into the Grimmsnarl there, likely going to pick up the knockout even through the special attack drop from Spirit Break. And now we are now in a position where Sylveon is even better poised to keep throwing off these powerful Hyper Voices, as Grimmsnarl, I believe, didn't even get up a single screen. So it looks like Ganzaar's team is looking quite vulnerable to Sylveon at this moment, as Meowscarada is the Pokemon to come here, not the Pokemon you want in Trick Room.
Yeah, Meowscarada coming in isn't the best for the Trick Room situation, but a Sucker Punch is really eyeing up their Armarouge right now. And if Ganzaar goes with that, that means that possibly the only Trick Room setter on this team is gone. And Indeedee isn't the slowest Pokemon, so it doesn't really mind if it's gone. It's quite bulky, so it can probably take a few hits. Annihilate, being at such low HP, could just get a surprise bit of damage down with its Rage Fist attack. Its effect, of course, is boosted each time you take a hit. If it underspeeds a Sylveon, it's going to drop down most likely. If it lives on a Sliver, it's going to be a really nice revenge kill when it comes on out. Either or, something's going to happen there. Something's going to be faster than the other one. And I think Sylveon could maybe hang on. Just as we see Meowscarada coming on in for Pengy. So two Meowscaradas on the field. Hyper Voice goes out before the Annihilate can attack. Meowscarada goes down to its sash. Annihilate lives on that 1 HP most likely. And Rage Fist is going to be a bonkers amount of damage. The Fandango that was a Trick Room wasn't there. But it is Drain Punch though. So it does have a bit of time to survive. But because it doesn't matter what HP you're on, it's what damage you've taken, how much time you've been hit. It's going to be a very strong Rage Fist down the line, especially if all this HP is gaining back from that one something to nothing hit.
Wow, and we're going to see the reversal of Trick Room from the opposing Meowscarada. I really like that play from Ganzaar's side. Instead, not opting to go for a Rage Fist just to pick up the KO on the Sylveon, but instead acknowledging that you're going to survive that Hyper Voice and then get all that HP back with Drain Punch. But the Quick Attack, able to pick up the Focus Sash remaining HP onto the Meowscarada. But Meowscarada, I think, has done an invaluable job of resetting this Trick Room here, as now Annihilate has a very, very strong Rage Fist, but is instead going to go for the Drain Punch onto the Meowscarada, just get a little bit of a tick more HP back for its efforts, maybe predicting a defensive play coming out from Sylveon. But Sylveon didn't touch Annihilate this turn, and now Annihilate still in a position as the fastest Pokemon on the field currently, going to be able to fire off a Rage Fist basically into whatever it wants. That Sylveon's health is looking mighty full, and I think Rage Fist is going to be doing quite a bit to get rid of that Sylveon's HP. So very, very, very nice endgame adjustment there from Ganzaar.
Yeah, Ganzaar just playing it amazingly, having that Focus Sash, giving it the opportunity to reveal that Trick Room. Something that, given the typing and given the speed of that Pokemon, you never really expect to see Trick Room on Meowscarada. I myself was baffled when I first saw it, but players know what they're doing and players love their techs, as we do see the Thunderbolt is enough to get rid of the Armarouge, leaving the Sylveon sat all by itself, and with Rage Fist having so much damage built up on it, this is likely going to be a one-hit KO, if not close. Sylveon goes straight from that 201 to 0, giving the game to the opponent, and Pengy goes from that really good game 1, just having that steamroll, even with the terrestrialization against them, going into this game 3 now, where moves have been revealed, techs have been shown, and this could be a close one. Both players know the Trick Room exists, both players know what terrestrializations there are, and they're gonna have to work around that, and Pengy could maybe Tatsugiri this.
Yeah, I really like the adjustment there from Ganzaar with the Annihilate angle there. The terrestrialization into the fire type, of course, being a huge deal. I was honestly surprised that that the Annihilate was able to survive that +1 Hyper Voice from just such that low amount of HP, but that was crucial in allowing Annihilate to stay in the game and being able to fire off those drain punches to get its HP back up, and then just the game cleaning Rage Fist here. So yeah, like you said, I mean, the Dondozo Tatsugiri angle, always an option here. It may not be something that Ganzaar is expecting now that we've seen 2 games without Pengy going for that. But also the Trick Room angle is still a very viable option. Sylveon has still proven that it's a very potent attacker in this matchup, able to get a ton of damage, but that Annihilate has got to be a thought in the back of Pengy's mind right now.
Yeah, Pengy's gonna have a lot of thoughts going back of his mind. And he's going to be having a lot of mind games going on as we come close to the end of the team preview, which we can see. And really, he's taking every second to think of this. He's got to think what Pokemon are great into terrestrializations, what Pokemon are good into the natural typings, what can he bring to maybe throw off the opponent. We were mentioning that Dondozo Tatsugiri, he didn't bring it game 1, game 2. The same thing happened in round 1, where the players just didn't bring it for certain games, and then they went ahead and rolled it. So to see if that's the game that he goes with in game 3, and we see another fish going on a steamroll.
Yep, so let's get into game 3, the deciding game of this round 2 matchup. We're going to see Grimmsnarl and Annihilate lead once again from Ganzaar's side, as Hydreigon and Sylveon are the choices coming out from Pengy's side.
Yeah, so Pengy going with something that is very similar to us. It's just got those 2 very strong special attackers, strong against the Annihilate, strong against the Grimmsnarl. Annihilate can go for that Terra Fire. It's very, very good for those hits from the Sylveon and the Hydreigon, buffing its Rage Fist if it gets hit. But even if it doesn't go for it, that can be a nice little switch. Grimmsnarl gets his screens up, and then you've got that ball rolling again. So it could come down to many, many different things, on what these players want to go for, or what they think is the best options. We see the first translation of this game 3 is yet again on turn 1, so these players really wanted to stop that damage as soon as possible.
Yeah, the Terastallizing coming out from Ganzaar's side once again into the Annihilate, making it the fire typing, making its board positioning even stronger into these 2 Pokemon, as a light screen comes out from Grimmsnarl, going to be perfect for mitigating damage against these 2 strong special attacking Pokemon, as Hydreigon forgoes Terastallizing, just gets a nice bit of chip damage there with a Life Orb Flash Cannon, as Annihilate going to go for a Rage Fist. This is unboosted, so it's only 50 base power, as you can see, doing a good amount of chip damage, but not quite as much as it was doing last game, as Hyper Voice comes out from Sylveon. Grimmsnarl, interestingly, hanging on just a sliver of HP, but Annihilate, of course, taking that quite handily, and very much appreciating the boost to its Rage Fist, of course. And Sylveon getting that +1 special attack boost.
Yeah, both these Pokemon getting that mutual boost, Annihilate getting something that's probably arguably more better, because you can't just Spirit Break that away, you can't just haze that away. That boost will be there forever. And as long as Annihilate can keep itself preserved in position where it's just getting that damage off, it is going to be doing loads to these Pokemon. Dark type now no longer super effective. Dragon typing, the moves are going to be very powerful when they go into them. Thunder Wave, though, coming out onto the Sylveon, just making sure it is neutral as much as possible. Yes, you want to be taking the damage, but not too much. And Sylveon gets that full paralysis as well. What a shame there in trying to remove both these Pokemon. Draco Meteor comes on through, goes into Annihilate, who hangs on, and that's going to be even more power stacked on top of that Rage Fist. And Annihilate, I think this is going to be the Pokemon to take this game, as Drain Punch goes into the Hydreigon, gets that knockout, gets some health back, which means even more damage to be stacked on top of its damage buffs.
Yeah, that full paralysis on the quick attack, huge moment of unluckiness coming out from Pengy's side, as he's looking to go for the quick attack to pick up the HP on that Grimmsnarl, but now with Grimmsnarl is still hanging on, does have the opportunity to get some form of shenanigans off here, whether that be another Thunder Wave onto Dondozo, another screen potentially, and like you said, Annihilate is looking poised to run away with this game still. But I mean, it does have to be careful if this Dondozo is carrying something like Wave Crash. There's no bulk ups here from Annihilate, but it does already have a 2 boost now to its Rage Fist. So they're going to be packing a 150 base power move to throw into either one of these Pokemon. Either one, even boost or no boost, that is going to be doing a lot of damage, as Grimmsnarl getting a Reflect off, going to be very helpful for that Dondozo. Here we go, Rage Fist into Sylveon, boosted this time, easily going to be able to pick up the knockout. Sylveon just trying to get a last-ditch attack off, not going to be the case this time. Now as Dondozo goes for the Wave Crash into the Annihilate, this is still going to do a ton of damage. It actually picks up the KO. We forgetting that Wave Crash is still a 120 base power move. With some recoil attached to it. Dondozo's still not a slouch when it comes to offenses, even without the boost. So, you know, I'd say Annihilate, despite not being a complete sweep, still doing a really, really good job here, picking up 2 crucial KOs. But this does allow Pengy to bring in the final Pokemon, which is going to be that Tatsugiri. And it looks like it's going to be it's going to be Dondozo versus the world here.
Yeah, Dondozo versus World is what we're coming into. When you face against Tatsugiri Dondozo players, you have to have that sacrifice. As if you know Tatsugiri's in the back, you're like, okay, I can knock out the Pokemon next to Dondozo, but that brings in a Tatsugiri. Yes, you've got a knockout, but then you've just given the Dondozo its boosts. And with how bulky Dondozo is, you're wanting to double into it to get that knockout, and that really just makes it so scary because then the Pokemon next to it can then get a really big attack off. And Sylveon being as powerful as it is with that +1 from Throat Spray is going to be very, very scary as Thunder Wave comes off. That was the demise for the Sylveon earlier in this game, and without any changes types, the Thunderbolt is going to be super effective. And with Dondozo being able to move, that's going to be even scarier. And then there is the paralysis again, so Pengy not getting the best of luck in this game, and really this could go in favor of Ganzaar, given that they have more Pokemon on the field. Once that Tatsugiri comes out, it may be Choice Scarfed, but it's not the strongest, and is just gonna have to get this ball rolling. Rotom goes through with another Thunderbolt. It is super effective, breaking through those boosts like butter, getting me down to very low. Spirit Break comes on through again. They're gonna go down to 3 HP. Will we see an attack from a Dondozo? Will it paralyze again? There is the order up. It will do a nice bit of damage into Rotom. Gets a chunk through, gets that boost to its stat. But with the paralysis, with all this damage going thrown out to it, it's not going to be as good of a boost as it is, and this could be curtains for Pengy, and this could be curtains for Dondozo itself becoming the sushi that it has been eating.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. Grimmsnarl being able to hold on there and just being able to fire off Thunder Waves, get it off another screen. I believe Pengy did not terrastalize in that second game, so I believe the Terra on that Dondozo was grass, so mainly probably could have been an option there to help it against the Rotom Wash, but obviously, those full paras obviously being very, very detrimental to the game plan. But yeah, very, very good stuff from Ganzaar. I really like this game 2 adjustment, and also the play going into the last round. I mean, really capitalizing on Grimmsnarl's ability just to be a total pest. But yeah, that was going to be round 2, guys. Don't go away. Stay tuned. We will be right back with some more action from the Wide League tournament. Round 3 coming up soon.